More now on our top story, the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. I'm joined from Washington by Ali Alfona, who is a senior fellow at the Arab Gulf States Institute. And I wanted to start by getting your thoughts on conflicting the reports we have had, though perhaps some clarification now from the Pentagon that a letter that was sent from U.S. Army representative in Iraq about a U.S. troop withdrawal was, well, essentially poorly worded and an error.
If Pentagon chooses to withdraw U.S. troops from Iraq, that would clearly be the final victory of the late Major General Qasem Soleimani, who was working towards evicting the U.S. from Iraq ever since 2003, but did not manage to do so while he was alive. If he does so after his death, that would be the final victory. However, if the U.S. chooses to remain in Iraq, in spite of the wishes of the Iraqi parliament, democratically elected parliament, that would create other types of problems for the United States, which the Islamic Republic can take advantage of.
How?
The Islamic Republic has systematically questioned the legitimacy of the United States military presence in Iraq, has tried to appeal to various political parties in Iraq who are not only angry with Iranian presence in Iraq and Iranian influence, but also with American influence and presence. After all, Iraqis are nationalists. They would like to see a sovereign country well functioning, while the United States is pointing an accusing finger against Iranian meddling in Iraq. The Islamic Republic is pointing out that the United States is not much better.
I mean, for the Iraqis, the attack on their soil was seen as really an attack on their sovereignty as well. But as we have seen in recent weeks and months, there has been a backlash against Iran's encroachment on Iraqi sovereignty. So will we see perhaps some effort on the part of Iraqi politicians to preserve and to maintain actually the presence of coalition troops to counteract Iran's presence?
Iraqi politicians have until now managed to strike a balance between the United States and the Islamic Republic. After all, U.S. is the most important military force present in Iraq and also the most important backer and ally of New Iraq. And the Islamic Republic is a neighbor which is never going away. So they had to find a balance between the two powers. Now we see some disturbances, and we also see polarization within the Iraqi political system. And this polarization is going to continue as long as the Islamic Republic and the United States choose to fight their battle in the Iraqi political territory and scene.
I mean, I suppose that the military dimension is just one aspect of it, because there have also been these reports that Soleimani was involved in some sort of overtures with the Saudis. And and this would have been important to Iraq. I mean, the Prime Minister said that he was due to meet Soleimani because, of course, they don't want to be caught in the crossfire of any sort of proxy war between Iran and the US, or Iran and the Saudis, for that matter. So then the question becomes whether some sort of back-channel initiative or commitment to reduce tensions has been extinguished.
Which is why I believe that the United States' decision to assassinate Major General Soleimani probably was an overreaction. President Trump was watching events unfold in Baghdad. He believed that there was a threat to the security of the United States embassy compound in Baghdad, and he ordered the assassination at a time that some of the people who had seized and who had forced their way into the embassy ground were already out of the embassy. But it was not the risk that the United States could live with. So on the Iranian part, the mistake was to allow proxies to have forced entry into the compound. And from the U.S., it was possibly an overreaction to assassinate Major General Soleimani rather than taking out some people in lower levels of the Quds Force.
Ali Alfona in Washington, thank you.